Hi friends, it's the Montessori Power Hour and I'm Aubrey Hargis.
And I'm David Argus. Today's show we are doing a camp classic, Friendship Bracelets. It's going to be fun. We also are playing a fun mystery bag inspired game, and we're going to talk about how to use current events to make the world into your own classroom. But first, I think it is summer.
It is summer. So our little update from our corner of the woods is our kids have been just like relaxing and like my goal for them for this summer was for them to have, I have to admit, like this is my goal every single year. Okay, this is kind of nothing new for me. But my goal was like for them to have the summeriest summer of all summers.
And summer!
I do this every single year. I set them up, as soon as like school season is over, I tell them that because we are homeschooling, like they're not actually stopping their homeschool, but because we have this lovely homeschool life and because everybody else is like kind of in the school cycle, I tell them that we're going to participate in it, and like this is the season to like have summer.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? So regardless of how cold it is here, and it is cold here in San Francisco in the summer a lot, I send them out to like go do summery things. And when they were little, do you remember what they did when they were little during the summer?
You mean here in the city, or?
No, when they were little. And
Well, they swam a lot.
well, I mean, Jude was little in the city and here in San Francisco.
We went swimming a lot. Right. And swimming. I mean, I remember doing a lot of swimming. And then I think when we lived in Washington, we would go to the museums to kind of beat the heat.
There was a public pool there too.
That's right.
So I don't know if you went to the public pool with us. I think you may have a couple times, but we tried to go at least every week. Just walk down to the public pool. We were lucky enough to live within walking distance of one. It was great. Harder to find here in San Francisco. We have to have these indoor pools, and you're lucky if they're heated.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly the same experience, but still, we would make trips back to Texas to visit our parents every year. And at my parents' house, they have a big pool, and so my goal was the kids to spend like solid 2 weeks doing nothing but swimming and learning how to swim. Because I feel like that's a really important life skill, and it's hard for them to get enough practice here. But going to visit family,
well, we put them in lessons for that reason.
Yeah, it's true, but like kids really just need practice in order to get comfortable with water. But at your mom's house, what I remember is lots of slip and slide type of old school sprinkler adventures in the hot Texas sun. Every single year we try to get our kids out into the heat on purpose because
now that's going to sound really weird if you don't live here.
Probably.
This specific part of the city is cold.
But it's partly nostalgic for us. Dave and I both grew up in Texas where our summers were unbelievably hot. And just because our kids live in an area where it's cold during the summer doesn't mean that they don't get to have that kind of classic, nostalgic
it gets really
summer
hot,
experience.
Not in our specific neighborhood, but if you go out not very far, it can get very, very hot.
Exactly.
And so go to visit the summer. So that is.
I know. We always end up going out, going out of the city into an area not too far away where it's very, very hot. And I'm always like, okay, this is enough summer. But I'm glad we did it. I remember we drove to Texas last year and we drove right through, where was it? Did we drive through Death Valley itself or did we drive through?
Very close to it.
The Mojave Desert.
The Mojave, yes.
And it was like 122 degrees.
We tried to find the world's largest thermometer somewhere out in the Mojave.
Did we find it?
I don't know. I think we might have seen it as we were passing by.
Maybe.
Nonetheless, it was very hot.
It was really hot. So I don't know. I associate summer kind of nostalgically with all of those stories that I read growing up as a kid, where kids are like having hot summer fun with lots of sweat and water play and that sort of thing. And so that's really what we try to give our kids in the summer. So we have continued to do so. Our kids have been swimming at public pools. Even now that they're older, they're still liking that. I think we also tend to
I think they like it more now that they're teens.
I think, yeah, I don't know. Maybe. They can tolerate the cold water a lot better now.
I think they just enjoy it for different reasons. Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. I think kids really like pools. However you slice it. But I was also going to say this summer we also try to take that relaxed homeschool vibe during the summer with lesson-wise. We don't do a whole lot of orchestrated, like serious sit-down lessons. We try to keep it, I think, more kind of natural and organic feeling. A lot more playful, related to the kind of experiences that we're having. And this also is reflected in the types of themes that we create in our programs.
Yep.
We know not everybody is having summer at the same time in our community because some people live on different parts of the world where summer happens at a different time of year.
The opposite, in fact.
We try to make sure that we also include themes that have a more relaxed, topical vibe to them, right?
Sure,
we'll share one of them with you today. But also another thing we do is we tend to I think we tend to make, this summer the kids have been making homemade ice cream.
Yes.
Lots too much homemade ice cream.
Folks, this is not an endorsement, but I'm going to tell you, if you have not bought a Ninja Creamy.
Oh no, do not. Seriously.
It's an amazing invention. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know. We've been having a lot of fun. And we've also been having fun with our old school KitchenAid mixer as well. Also not an endorsement. But they've been making cookies and we've been sending them out into the world to explore. And they actually go quite far by themselves, which is normal for teenagers. But, I always say, this is what happens when you raise your kids Montessori. They just become independent and they just start taking things on by themselves and feeling really confident in their own skin. Yeah. I mean, it's not universally true. Every child reaches different milestones at different ages.
Yeah, for sure.
But in general, when you put all of this effort into those early years, raising independent kids, all of that time in the kitchen that you spend with practical life activities, kids making their own snacks, and you're teaching them all these things, what do you get? You get kids who can, set their own alarm clock, wake up on their own and make themselves breakfast, or...
Also a variety of snacks of various qualities.
Kids who will indulge you with as much ice cream as you want.
The good and the bad.
I know. So, but summer isn't always good out there. The summer sometimes brings a lot of really hot weather that can be very unpleasant. We're very aware of that as kids who grew up in Texas, what summer heat can do.
Yeah.
And in fact, even here in California, it's danger season for people here who are used to just going out and hiking throughout the year.
People get in real trouble.
Who might not understand
if they've never lived in a warmer climate.
Yeah, if you go out and it is in the 90s already and the temperatures are climbing, you're going to be in the danger zone. And so I think that people who grow up in really hot areas like we did in Texas, if you're going to be out, my dad is going for a run. He's going to do it between 5 and 9 o'clock in the morning before it gets really, really hot. Yeah. Because heat exhaustion, heat stroke is not something
especially with littles.
Especially with littles, So stay cool, friends.
But it's not all subtle dangerous. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do in the heat too. Not just the swimming and the slip and slide.
What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking about those classic hot weather experiments.
Oh yes. There was one time that a very distinctive childhood memory of mine. I don't know if I have shared this one with you before. Maybe I have, but
tell me.
So one summer, I went out with a big pile of Play-Doh when it was 103 degrees outside. And I piled it all. I was playing with it, and then I put it on top of the slide in our backyard. Can you imagine what happened? It was a metal slide.
I think you had a puddle of Play-Doh.
I had a puddle of Play-Doh. And it was fascinating, friends. I was just stunned. I didn't know that Play-Doh could melt. It's not supposed to melt.
It's not supposed to melt, but Texas finds a way.
Maybe, I don't know. And now I'm thinking back, I'm did I mix water with it? How did I get Play-Doh to melt? But I have this visceral like the sensory exploration that happened during this one
Yeah.
moment in the hot sun where I was
Yeah.
on the slide, probably making a giant mess that had to be cleaned up afterwards. And just the smell of the cooking Play-Doh, like it got burned into my brain. Have I shared this with you?
No pun
Probably
intended.
not.
No, I don't remember this.
Anyway, yeah, this is what they're talking about when in Inside Out they talk about the core memories.
Yes.
Like some of those core memories are yours forever, and some of those are going to be sensory experiences that you have as a kid, and they're probably not only going to be, they're not probably going to be the experiments that you did in school. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think that it's true. Like they're probably going to be some kind of variation, like maybe there was an adult encouraging that exploration or giving you the ingredients that you need, or maybe doing a little side modeling of, ways you could explore or experiment with materials. But the kinds of memories that you really have are going to be explorations that you as a child own. Like you're really, really in there with all of your senses.
Yeah, that's right. It makes me think, I remember, I've told you this story, but one time when we were a kid, we bought a great big ball, like a rubber ball at Walmart, I think.
Okay.
And we put it in the back of the car, and we were driving around. I was a teenager or something.
Yeah.
And then this explosion. And
it was in your car.
Yes, it popped. And it got too hot.
Was your mom driving?
Yes. It got too hot and it expanded and popped. Now, you're talking, again, core memory, right? Like, it was startling, and then you go back up and you see like this, the poor husk of your balloon or whatever it was, the ball.
It was so hot in the trunk of your car, but the ball that you bought at the store,
I think the heat
exploded.
expanded the air, and it combined with the heat of the skin of the ball, and it popped. So it's a lesson that didn't really got me thinking a lot about heat and how that works and the power. And so it's a very memorable thing. So the bottom line is that
I just feel sorry for your mom.
the bottom line is
It must have been so scary. And that's my mom reaction is like, oh my gosh.
she had nerves of steel. Nothing could faze mom.
No, she's a strong woman.
A very strong woman. No, but it sticks with you, right? So you have these kind of happy accidents in a way that become really exciting. I think as adults, I'm thinking about when we have your reaction there, like an explosion was startling and probably scary to the adult, but to the child, it's not. To the child, it can be a sense of wonder because they don't have all of those anxieties or something. I mean, a child does have
for sure
anxieties, but they're different. There's like a worldliness.
Now I'm imagining you and your sister in the back seat, like,
exactly. We thought it was great. Now, if I were driving, I'd be like, I can't believe I just wasted all that money. And but the version of me many years ago was delighted, I'm certain.
Aww. Do you want to do a tech check really
Yeah,
fast? I know you mentioned that.
I see folks are out there. Hello. Thanks for joining us live. If you have comments or questions, you can pop those in the chat. We'll try and get to those. And if you can hear us or not hear us, let us know so we can adjust. We're still working through the tech stuff. We're trying to make some nice enhancements to make this a little bit more fun for us and for you guys, hopefully.
We'll show you the top-down camera here in a few minutes. But first, friends, guess what? It is election season. If you didn't already know, now you know. And it's not just the U.S. I told this to David. I was like, isn't it just our election season? I said, somewhat ignorantly. And he reminded me, actually, no, lots of elections are. This actually is a big election kind of season going on worldwide. France and England just had big elections. Here in the U.S., no doubt you know that there is a presidential election, which is a huge, huge deal. It's coming up in November, and there is so much buzz on the news. Now, friends, honestly, not all of that news is good. Okay, so, but that being said, the world is your classroom.
That's right. Yeah, as a homeschooler or not, whether you're homeschooling or not, the world is your classroom. It goes with that experience we just talked about a minute ago, you know, the melting Play-Doh or the ball that exploded in the back of the car. We take these things in and they become, we synthesize them and think through them, and they become what you might call a teachable moment. And something as big and profound as an election in a democratic system like ours, an election is a teachable moment. And it's important to take that opportunity. The child is going to be hearing to some degree or another different things and helping them put that in context. So what would you do with this information? Well, first off, I think depending on the age of the child, it's a good opportunity to talk about what is government. It can be a confusing idea even for adults. You know, what are the different powers and how does a government form? What are the different kinds of governments we've had throughout history? What is our democracy about? How did we create it? So there's a chance to talk about history, and there's also a chance to talk about the idea of self-rule and the individual's role in society. It's also a good time on that same account to talk about how other governments are organized and why we might say some are superior to others, why we value something like our democracy and how it compares to maybe what we had or what other people have. And that leads into a topic about civics, which is something that even if you're not interested in teaching about the election per se, or you want to go into the history or the concept of government, for sure in the Montessori method, the idea of civics is 100% aligned because it talks about our personal responsibility within our society. And we tie that into something like the concept of democracy. We have a chance as members of a democracy to engage civically and to direct our government and hopefully direct it in the way of peace, which is what Montessori would ask us and remind us to do. She really saw that the future of the human species was built on what children were taught and how they were allowed to grow free from the sort of prejudices and limitations that the adults have, those fears that can limit us. A child isn't necessarily confined by all of those. And we have a chance to help that child develop a sense of civic engagement at a young age that makes them feel empowered to transform the world in a way that is meaningful, in a way that speaks to peace, to make the world better than it is as we have it. I think it's important to remember that Maria herself, I mean, no question about it. When we decided on this topic, just even in the past several days since we decided on this topic, world events have really changed. It can feel very intense and very scary. I think it's good to remember, though, that Maria herself was born in the 1870s. There were no cars, there were no airplanes, there was no mass communication, there were newspapers, but there was no radio or television. There was a telegraph. If you wanted to go somewhere, you had to walk. Maybe you could take a steamship or a train. There was no television or radio. There were no nations in the way that we have. Like some nations existed, the U.S. and England, but other countries did not have themselves formed together yet until during her lifetime. Like the formation of Germany into a nation as we think of it today happened in the 19th century. It was a period of national pride. The world was very different. The world was much more like what it had been for thousands of years. And when she was born,
I'm kind of nostalgic for that world, honestly.
when she passed in the 1950s, what had she lived through? She had lived through the Industrial Revolution, two amazingly horrific wars, the Holocaust, the transformation of Europe into these different nations, imperialism that had formed around that, and the wars that had spawned because of it, the development of radio, film, television. The world suddenly was small. You could get on an airplane and fly anywhere. So the world that she was born into and the world that she passed away in could not be more different. And when we think about the amount of change that we're experiencing right now as a people, it's important to put it in context. Like there is a lot of change that's happened in our world. And the lesson is that Maria did not lose hope, that she continued to believe. In fact, despite all of the challenges, or maybe because of all the challenges she faced, living in exile in India during the Second World War, knowing people, Montessorians who died in the Holocaust, seeing her project grow and to be overtaken and co-opted by bad forces. Mussolini tried to co-opt. I mean, these are terribly intense experiences. And despite that, she maintained a hope and a vision of peace to her dying day. She believed that we can do better, despite the fact that she had seen us do so many things wrong. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we want to imbibe with our children. We want them to remember that the world can be better if we dedicate ourselves to it. And we can dedicate ourselves to it by engaging with it in a way that is meaningful and being thankful that we have things like our democratic system that allows us to, as individuals, engage with that. And so I would say that it's never too early to start it, but I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think that there's a point at which you would say...
I'm just going to stop you right there. While you were talking, I was like, wow, this feels so intense. Like, are you sure we're not putting on a show for parents of high schoolers? But
yeah, that's
when
true.
you break down, like, when you kind of like condense the topics that you were mentioning, what we're really talking about is helping children to become aware of democracy as a subject. What does that mean? What does that mean? It's the voice of the people, right? And so there are lots of ways that we can make that super concrete, even for our very little ones.
Yes.
And I know you just said, I know it's never too young or something like that. And we're all thinking like, you're not going to teach a baby about democracy, right? Or are you? Because when we create a family culture where everyone's has input into the family decisions, where it's not a family environment where it's, I was going to say it's like we're not taking that parenting perspective of like what we say goes all the time and we don't care how you feel about it, where the parents are making all the decisions, even though it is our responsibility to make decisions for our kids because they're not capable of making all their decisions by themselves. It is really important that we bring them into the decision-making process as they are ready to make decisions with us.
That's
and
right.
When they're very, very little, that starts with that first bit of independence, offering like, are you ready to have your diaper changed, right? Like, and maybe your baby's going, nah, right? But just offering, or do you want me to do it in a minute? And I can see that you want me to do it in a minute. I'll wait 1 minute and then we'll do it, right? Like that is offering your child to have a voice.
Totally.
And
that's right.
And even if we don't always like what they have to say or their opinions, it's really important that we start inviting them into family decision making and conversations about, where they can share their feelings with us. And you can do that from when they're very, very little. Of course, the decisions that they're going to participate in when they're babies are going to be like these kind of decisions. Yeah. And by the time they get to be teenagers, they're going to be helping you make bigger decisions, as they move into their next stage of adult independence, So it's obviously a scaffolding. But what that means to me is that even though there are some things that I think that we can agree young children should not be exposed to, if we can help it, we don't want them to see violence. We don't want them, so we want to, as much as we can, protect them from witnessing violent acts. Okay, so that's a developmental.
That has a corrosive effect.
It does. There's nothing really good that can come with exposing your child to violence, and we know that there are some children that can't help being exposed to violence, and some children are going to witness things that you wish they really hadn't, and you can't help it, and you're just going to move on from there.
But we collectively feel bad about that. We don't as a society, as people, individuals, children who live in violence.
Agreed. So we can't say, yes, I'm not saying that if your child is exposed, then they're doomed. But as much as we can, we do want to protect that, nurture that spirit, fill it with hope and optimism and love, as Maria Montessori keeps urging us, a love of all of the people on the world. And so when things come up in the news that maybe make you feel uncomfortable or that is kind of happening politically around you, what you can do is sit down with your child and explain it to them in a very, very, very simple language what they have noticed is happening in the conversation. Okay,
right.
and little children, as long as you make sure that they know that they are safe, and you're not exposing them to like the violence that you see on the media, but it's just a very simple conversation about good versus evil, and what you feel like is justice, that leads you towards love for all people. Like if you're having that kind of conversation, your child is going to exit the conversation about politics or whatever it is feeling confident and hopeful and full of love for sharing the vision of peace for everyone, right? So
well, love thy neighbor.
Shush. Those are the kind of conversations that you want to come out of studying an election. So
Totally.
What can you reveal to your child that is simple and concrete? You can share with them how to elect something, and how to have a voice, how their voice is important. If they are older in elementary, you can actually talk about the electoral process itself, like actually how it works. What is our government made up of? What are the parts of it? And those can be very, very concrete things that you teach them.
Definitely.
You can identify elected officials in your local environment. Who is your
Who's
local
your
mayor and
assembly person.
who speaks for your area, your district or whatever.
And as they get older, they can start to, I know is that when they get into that third plane, they'll start to get interested in how they can affect the change. And so this is a progression, right? So when they're very, very little, you're giving them, you're respecting that they are an individual and they're going to begin to demand. And that's what we want. We want them to be independent, creative beings. And then you're going to begin to connect the dots in that second plane with how the system works, because they're going to be old enough to start to understand the basics of governance. And then when they get into that third plane, teenagers, they're going to get real fired up. Hey, there's too much trash on this beach.
Oh, yeah.
Who can I write about this? I want to take charge.
Oh, they will.
That is a classic third plane
exactly
experience.
Yeah, but it won't happen unless you do the pre-work.
That's right. So you want your kids to be engaged and ready when we are 18 and they're going to go out there and they're going to make choices and about their lives and the election. You got to start teaching those civics early. And, it's a big topic. It's complicated. My only watchword would be keep it positive. Right? No matter how often we feel, and it is easy to feel overwhelmed, we can do better. We have the capacity. Maria believed that. Many others have taught us this as well. So that positivity can just really infuse everything if we let it.
That's right.
All right.
Well, friends, maybe you are trying to beat the heat inside, or maybe you're just outside enjoying nature. But either way, we have a fun and summery project to share with you. It comes from our camp theme. Let me just grab that right over here. Okay, our camp theme of the month was actually published last year, but actually last summer. It's a summer theme, a summer themed theme. Friends, not a tongue twister, but you can actually find it right now in our Child of the Redwood shop. So it is available to the public, not only for our members. And inside this little packet, oh, you got a top down, awesome. Right inside this camp thematic activity packet right here is a really fun activity all about making friendship bracelets, which is something I remember doing as a kid and loving. I made so many of them. I probably learned how to make them at summer camp.
Yeah.
And we actually found a way that you can make them with your kids that is not too complicated. It's a very simple tutorial, and we're going to show you how to do that today.
Awesome.
All right. So let me just flip through this camp packet just to kind of show you what is inside. If you choose to take the whole camp journey with us. So we've got books about camping and camp. We've got a scavenger hunt in here that's really fun to do with kids. Some literature about why humans camp in the first place, how it actually came up. It actually just became a thing. Someone actually invented it.
Yep.
Those of you who are in our Constellation program right now, that is actually a fun connection that I actually hadn't realized between our invent theme and our camp theme. So you might want to check that one out as an invention idea.
Yep.
We've got some grammar activities in here. I'll show you those, what that looks like. Here's our grammar activities, kind of what they look like. We've got the cozy tent, the rushing river, the babbling brook. Oh, we've got this fun activity in here where we took the song "The Green Grass Grows." And the green grass grows all around and around, and the green grass grows all around. Right. And so we made these cute little cards. Our members really enjoyed this and sing them with their kids.
Yeah, it's a sequencing activity,
yeah,
right?
they're sequencing cards. So that was really fun.
Reading and writing.
This one is a little more complicated. This is primarily for our older kids, even though we have a simple version for younger ones as well. This is knot tying, which is something that is a useful skill that many people learn to do when camping, I guess, or also like on a sailboat or boating, or there's all kinds of reasons why you might want to learn
Scouting.
to tie knots, right? If you're trying to invent things in your own home, this is also a fun connection for you friends. Got some word problems, some map making, and we've got our camp bracelets, friendship bracelets tutorial for you. So
right.
I'm going to show you how to make those right now, friends. So let's go ahead and get started with this project. What you need, actually, would you actually find the activity camp bracelets, and we'll just make sure that we're all set up with that. But what you need for this activity is you need a roll of tape. I'm just going to use this transparent tape here. You need some scissors to cut, and you're going to need some embroidery threads. So these are, hopefully you can see these are just two different colors of embroidery thread.
Yeah,
we use these.
Camera here.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, here they are.
Giant's orange.
Perfect. So we've got two different colors. We've got two contrasting colors, and this is actually important because your child is going to be following this tutorial, which uses two different colors to show them the procedure. Now, you could just do one color, but it's just going to be easier for your kids if you do two colors, because they'll be able to keep track of where they are and actually see the thread. Okay, so that is all you need in order to do this little fun activity. So let's go ahead. And you do a top down again. All right. And I am going to cut these out because this is exactly what you would do if you were doing this activity in your own home with your kids. As you would cut out these little cards, you would print them out and then cut them. All right, and while I'm doing that, David, do you want to talk about why we chose practical life? I mean, it seems like this might be, it could be an art activity, or it could be...
Well, you know, in Constellation, it's interdisciplinary. The goal is to tie the, no pun intended for the camp bracelet activity, but we want to bring all the different subject areas together, right? So we have 10 core academic areas, practical life, sensorial, reading, writing, et cetera, those, we want to study each of those in depth, right, through our foundational curriculum. But the idea with the thematic learning, and actually to kind of more broadly good learning practices, is to tie as many of those things together as you can. Now, we want to highlight one to make it easier for people to kind of have in mind where this activity sits. And in this case, we chose practical life because there's a lot of fine motor skill work here and self-expression, which would go into practical life. But you're also going to find art. Because of the nature of these cards, you're going to find things like sequencing.
Yes.
There's numbers, so you're going to find number sense. There's reading and writing, obviously reading, because you have to read the directions and follow the directions. We said art, the creativity of the art. And there's even sensorial, like the feeling of the thread and being able to find the end of a small thread and loop them together. That's a sensorial task. So you're really covering a lot of different things in this classic activity, which you've probably done and not thought like, oh, how many things am I learning? You're learning a lot.
For sure. So, yes. So, all right. So I just strengthened my fun motor skills there with my scissors.
That's right. Using scissors, definitely.
And I've got all these
Cutting on the
cards
line.
here. And I'm cutting them out for you friends because I want you just to see how simple it is to do this tutorial and how much sense it makes when you have cards for an activity like this, as opposed to just trying to, demonstrate it for your child in all of the steps at once.
Yeah.
You know, so it is going to make it so much easier. So the
It's
first
also
step,
fun. It's just more fun, right?
it is just more fun. Yeah, visuals just really help things come to life. So first, we are going to order these cards, and so actually, honestly, like this is an activity in itself. So we've got all of these different cards. What do you notice about them? They are numbered, right? And so this actually could be the first step. If your child is able to associate the number, then you've got like a little fun sequencing activity here. So we're just gonna put these in order. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 5. Okay, and then we have 6, and then 7, and then 8, and then 9, and 10. Okay, so we've got 10 steps here. And probably, a great way to introduce this to your child is you've sequenced these together, and now you're going to review the steps before you actually teach this lesson, because part of this lesson is about sequencing. It's also fine motor skills. It's and you're gonna do this fun craft. You're gonna emerge with an actual friendship bracelet, which is gonna be really motivating and exciting. And so I always really like to just review first. And if you are a parent giving this lesson to your child, you're going to want to actually practice this first as well, because then when you start to use the cards and demonstrate with your child, you will feel confident, like you know what you're doing first. This is a tried and true teacher, just from one teacher to another, friends. Just practice before you give a lesson, and it will always go better.
You know how the first batch of cookies never comes out as well as the second?
Or pancakes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's not burn the pancakes. Let's practice first. Not that things won't go well if you don't, but it's just assurance. Okay, so let's go ahead and gather up these cards. And David, would you read these cards out loud in order while we do this activity? So just tell me what to do. So
okay, well,
what's our first card?
Our first card here. Okay. Let's see, can we see that? I think so. Yeah. Pick 2 colors of embroidery floss.
Okay, so I am picking for today, I've got orange and blue, and it looks like I need tape.
Yes.
So I've got my tape. Okay.
Cut a 3 to 4 foot length of each color.
Okay, awesome. Well, I've actually already done that part because I wanted to save time here on video.
You put it in the oven and it comes out cooked.
Ta-da! Here it is.
All right.
Okay, so we've got a nice long piece of thread. Technically, mine is a little shorter than you probably actually need for this activity because I'm demonstrating here. But you would go with like 3 to 4. Oh, did we get out of focus? Let me see if I can get us back in focus.
The hand.
The hand.
All right. It'll come back. All right. Step 2. Are you ready?
Will it come back?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dun, dun,
I almost got it.
Well, we'll get it.
Okay.
Step 2. Holding them together.
Okay.
Fold them in half lengthwise. Knot them at the top, forming a small loop.
Okay. And I have already done that.
I see.
Right here.
That's right. Yep. Here's our card.
Okay. So holding them together, fold them in half lengthwise. Do you want to pause and see if we can get the video?
Yeah, we could try it again.
Or do you want to do a front forward?
We can if we need to. It should.
Oh, did it do it? I think it did. All right, nobody move.
Nobody move. Number 3. You ready?
Okay, so I've got them together, and I have made a nice knot right here in a loop. Okay, what else?
Tape the loop to the table.
Okay.
And separate your colors.
All right, so I'm going to use this tape, and I'm going to tape this loop right here.
Color 1 on the left.
Okay.
Color 2 on the right.
Got it.
All right.
Okay.
All right, now.
What
Cross. And step 4 is cross color 2 over color 1.
Okay, so this is color 2, and I'm going to cross it over.
Yeah, just like in the picture.
Yep.
Leaving a loop on the right.
Right. There's my loop.
Step 5. Take the end of color 2 and tuck it under color 1. And then through the loop you created.
Okay. All right. There it is.
Oh, okay. 6. Pull color 2 gently to the top.
All right. Gently to the top.
Ooh.
Okay. Gentle. Not yanking.
Don't yank. 7. Cross color 1 over color 2, leaving a loop on the left.
All right. There's color 1.
All right.
We're doing the reverse of the other color, right?
Take the end of color 1 and tuck it under color 2 and then through the loop you created. Yeah.
Okay. And then I assume...
You got it.
Yay!
Pull color gently to the top.
Gently
color
to
1.
the top. Okay.
Look at that.
All right. And if...
Rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat.
Repeat until the bracelet is long enough to go around your wrist.
Yeah, so your child will get into this, and
kind of a
they might
rhythm.
need some help at first, but it's actually just, it's really not that hard. And you're just kind of looping it around, and you can see even just here, you know, we haven't made very many loops, but you can see the bracelet coming, right?
Yeah, you don't have to do very many to...
In order to get some results.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, I would say spend 10 minutes on this, and you'd have a bracelet. And then you could call it your friendship bracelet.
I like it.
And then you could wear it, and you and your child could have friendship bracelets together.
You know, in true friendship bracelet, spirit of the friendship bracelet, I see you chose Dodger blue and Giants orange.
Oh, that's right.
Being together. The greatest rivalry in baseball has ended thanks to our friendship bracelet.
That's great. Good call. I was going to say this probably reminds someone of their school colors.
For sure, right?
Right. Okay. Well, anyway, that is as much as I'm doing today. I'm not going to go ahead and do this whole friendship bracelet, but you can see how it's coming. I'll go ahead and pull it up. So you can see just like it is getting there, and it's going to look really, really cute. No matter what colors you choose when you wrap it around your... oh, and this is so easy too. Like when you actually are ready to make it into a bracelet, how easy is it just to thread it through this loop here that you made, especially if it was a slightly smaller loop. But you can see that it's like already, can you see this, friends? It's already a bracelet.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so your child actually doesn't have to complete the entire bracelet in order for it to, like, if maybe they just want this part, and that is totally fine.
Totally.
Yeah, especially for the little ones. The little ones, you'll probably be making these for them, and that is fine too, because you're modeling. It's always good to model.
Now we have some pictures, actually. Are you ready to see some?
Yes.
Yeah. So from our community. Thanks so much to our community members out there who are joining us live or watching the replay is also awesome. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, here we are. Yeah, this is from Valerie, one of our members.
Aww.
Got a couple different photos here.
Showed us how she was doing it with the tutorial. And the supplies that she used. Looks like a fun little set. And then those hands are precious.
So many options of
Mommy
colors
and
too,
daughter friendship bracelets. You know, do not believe, friends, when they say that you should not be friends with your kid. That is something that I think is a total myth. Have you heard that myth?
Yeah,
you should never be friends with your kid. You're the adult. Like, nah, nah, nah.
They won't
Who
respect
cares,
you.
right? You know what? You want to have a healthy relationship with your kids? Be their friend. like being friends. I think you don't share everything with every kind of friend the same way. There are different kinds of friends, right?
Yeah, well, I think you're also modeling what a healthy relationship is. I mean, that's why, you know, when you're as a married couple, the way that you resolve conflict is an important way of demonstrating a conflict resolution. The way you treat each other as friends,
Yes.
and the way you treat your children as friends is a way to model, like, what does a good friend look like, and how does one treat one as a good friend?
Absolutely. I think it also thinking of your child as your friend, not a friend that you share all the saucy details with, like, right? But like as a true spirit to spirit friend, I think that you tend to, I don't know, keep the golden rule in mind a little more often. Like, is this the way I would talk to my friend? Is this the way a friend should be talked to, right? And we're not perfect, right?
No.
We don't expect you to be either, but keeping friendship at the forefront of your mind, I think, has always helped me as a parent personally.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, be friends with your kids. So friendship bracelets, mommy and daughter friendship bracelets, I think it's adorable.
How about this one? I think we just have a nice, this one's from Laura. She's out having a fun camp day. Now, I don't know if they were actually full-time camping or they just went out to a wooded area here, but...
No, they were full-time camping.
That's awesome.
And actually, Laura shared a funny story. It was like terrible weather. I know this looks ideal to me, just this photo right here. But her little one, they brought some bubbles, which I think is a great idea to bring if you are actually going camping. They said the weather was awful, and it was also kind of crazy. It hailed, and it rained maybe, and it was sunny, and it was hot, and like it was kind of wild weather. But they had a great time.
Full-time camping for sure. Thank you. All right, we've got, here's another one. Oh, this looks awesome. This is Adri. And,
okay, this one made me laugh.
yeah.
Because isn't this like the perfect picture of parenthood? When you think of like the kind of strength that it takes to be a parent, both physical strength and emotional, mental strength. Like that's what I saw. When I saw this, I was like, oh, wow, like so much awesome right in there. And they went camping in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And so this is a picture of their adventures. I hope it wasn't too hot when they went, but
They look like they're ready for the heat though.
yeah.
Or whatever it was.
They've got their sun hats on.
I like this one. This is with from Lindsay.
Yes. Some classic camping,
Yep.
having s'mores around the campfire.
It is awesome to be out in nature. Now here's one, I don't think you'll recognize this guy.
Oh, I don't know about this photo.
Yeah.
Aw. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of our mini camping trips.
One of our many camping trips. Yeah.
So
Sitting around, that was probably a morning fire.
probably a morning fire.
Yeah, I love having a campfire in the morning.
That's right.
There's something, I don't know, campfires at night are good too, but also the morning fire, whew, I think I like it better.
You like the morning fire best?
I think so, because there's something about just waking up and you feel disoriented and you haven't had enough sleep because you didn't sleep very well because you were slightly uncomfortable in your tent, and like the air is crisp and the birds are chirping and the campground is kind of starting to wake up. I don't know, there's just like this feeling, and then you start the morning fire and you warm yourself next to it and your day just eases into a beginning.
I will make
if I could have
caveat.
a morning fire at home just to bring that feeling in, I totally would.
Well, you can't hear. No fires allowed. But I will say, speaking of that warmth and so forth, I never went camping as a kid because in Texas it was just too darn hot. We tried a couple times when we were first married.
When we were first married,
and it was not fun. And then we found our way out here. And
not to say that you can't camp in
No,
Texas.
for
I know
sure.
a lot of people that do.
Yeah, but it was hot.
It was in July.
And a lot
camping
of
and yes. We just, you know what, we wanted to be campers and it just didn't work out for us, and I'm sure that we could have figured out how to make it work. Maybe we chose the wrong season, but yeah, I don't know. Then we moved out here and we started camping all the time because
That's right.
I know.
But I will say, it wasn't just the heat. I also just was opposed to the idea of camping. I'm going to be totally straight with you guys. Like, so if you are like, no, I don't want to camp, it's too messy and whatever, try it. Just try it again. I know it's not perfect. You're going to get rained out. You're not going to always make it. But laying there under the stars with the family, hearing the fire crackle or the birds or the animals out in nature, it's just very rejuvenating and not to be missed. Go out there, bring some thread, make your own friendship bracelet. It's a great camping activity.
Yes.
And so have some fun. Now what is going on here?
Do you know who this is?
It's a snake, of course.
This is the snake game. This is the snake game, Snake.
Now this snake is not a dangerous camping snake, is it?
No.
Oh, no, he's a friendly snake.
He's a friendly snake.
Hello, friendly
usually
snake.
We put little beads on him, and then we count them up, exchange them for golden beads, and then we have the snake game, and it's so much fun.
Oh, well, hello, little
but
snake.
He is in here. He's actually slithering in here with a joke.
What? It's a dad joke. Dad joke. Burr, 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 burr. All right.
Would you like to read it?
Of course.
Okay.
What is a snake's favorite part of summer camp?
What is the snake's favorite part of summer camp? Not biting people. Not slithering anywhere near my tent.
It's the s'mores. Thank you for that snaky joke. Thank you so much. It was awesome. I loved it.
All right, that is a fun one to share with your child if you're going camping, or even if you're camping just indoors.
Or you just want to go wake them up and say, what's the snake's favorite part of camping? S'mores.
I know. Maybe they'll be inspired to make a snake game snake too after this. It's just
they might
felt.
be.
Yeah.
All your 5-year-old lap lads. Awesome.
Aww.
Perfect. We hit the target audience.
Hooray!
We, if you like that dad joke, there might be more next week, I'm sure. What could bring it next time? If you want to do things other than hearing dad jokes, then why don't you join us in our membership program? We have a very special event coming up later this week. It's office hours. It's a Q&A open session, like ask us anything kind of format, where it's just for members. It's a time to sort of refresh, get guidance, brainstorm, just sort of have a lot of fun. And it's a part of the Constellation program. So if you're interested in that thematic program and you're ready to get started, it's not too late if you join us today or tomorrow.
And
you will be able to be part of that live experience on Wednesday.
If you're a member, make sure you RSVP to that office hours event as well.
It is, it's fun. We have a lot of fun with that. We also have, don't forget, Farm. The next theme is releasing in just a couple weeks. So we're going to have parts of a cow. Of course, we're going to do the miniature farm, which is a Montessori classic.
The grammar farm.
The grammar farm, yeah. And a whole host of other fun stuff. So that's going to be coming up just in a few weeks. And again, if you join Constellation today, you're going to get access to camp and everything else. Plus, you're going to get that new issue once it releases. And you're going to be invited to join us in August for our annual planning party. So we're going to be doing 2024-2025 academic year planning. We have a portfolio that we give to all of our members that helps them do their homeschool planning and documentation. We go through the themes of the year. We just kind of kick things off in general. That's going to be on the 7th of August. Again, if you're a member of Constellation, you get access to that. And every 3 months, we do a check-in where we kind of come back together and see how it's going, because it's always better with community. Homeschooling is better together.
Yes, and our members are an integral part in helping us develop the upcoming themes, which is special and fun.
Absolutely. We're very, very, we really, really appreciate our members.
We are super lucky.
Yeah, we are. And they're always really helpful and kind of giving us thoughts, and we love working to bring those to life.
Yeah, I don't know how it happens, but from the very beginning of when I started teaching the Montessori primary course, which is coming up again at the end of August is enrollment for that. But at the very beginning when I started teaching that course, I was blown away by the brilliance of our members. The people that we attract to this program, Montessori people, are really, really, like, they're the best kind of nerds, friends. Like I just feel if this is resonating with you and you're like, I want to be a Montessori nerd, you have almost instant access to the most amazing group of people. Yep. I just can't even get over like how generous this and sweet and loving, compassionate this group of people has always been. Yeah. Our lower elementary course is also coming up. So Whether your child is 2 to 6 years old or 6 to 9 years old, there is a foundational course at Child of the Redwoods for you where we teach you the Montessori method, and you get all of the little lessons that go with every single subject area. It's really, really great. All right. One more thing that we have today for you.
A very short segment here because I think my battery is getting close to the end, but
okay, got it.
Can't not do.
Okay, well, it is game time.
Game time.
David and I have chosen a few objects to put inside a mystery bag, and we are going to play a mystery bag game right here on camera live. So
the pressure is on.
Let me show you our first bag. Okay, this is one I put together, and I know what is inside.
But you don't.
But actually, David doesn't either.
Now, everything in these bags is a material you could teach a Montessori lessons with.
Yes, so everything inside these mystery bags is going to be a Montessori material, something you could teach a Montessori lesson with. And the question is, number one, what is the thing that you feel? And then you're going to pull it out and you're going to see if it's what you thought. And number two, what lesson could be taught with it?
So now I'm going to reach in. I'm not going to pull it out. Right? I'm just going to feel.
Okay, feel. Got one? Just get one.
Yes, I've got one.
Okay, and what is it?
Feels like tongs, maybe like for sugar cubes, small little tongs for transferring small objects.
And reveal.
Whoa.
What? Does that surprise you?
Well, they look, I don't know if you guys can see those. They look a little pointy.
They are. They're kind of sharp. Yeah. They
look like claws, I guess is what
Yes. These are from the Heritage Collection here at the Hargis house. Silver plated tongs, something else that you could also silver polish, right?
Oh, that's another.
Yeah.
So that would be a different lesson, but these would be great. Yeah, so you would do some transferring or whatever. Okay.
All right, dig in there again. Second
nope.
object.
Okay. Okay, I feel something. This is definitely cold and hard, and I think it's a glass.
Okay.
It is. It's a little glass.
It is a glass.
Perfect.
And what Montessori lesson is it for? Or what Montessori thing is it for?
Honestly, I can't think of one. It could be used in so many kinds of lessons.
Let's think about the primary purpose of it.
Pouring, maybe. Liquid.
Okay, before that.
Carrying carefully.
Another good lesson you could teach with it, even before that.
Some kind of sensorial lesson about the glass itself.
Oh man, you're giving me so many good lessons. Okay, I picked this one out. You want to know, right?
Yeah.
I picked this out because this, I think, is a good example of a weaning cup.
A what?
A weaning cup.
Ah!
It's actually a little bit bigger than your classic weaning cup. It is a shot glass, friends, and this is probably a little bit bigger than the first one I would give like a baby who's learning how to sip from a cup. But do you remember the thickness of this kind of shot glass? So get a shot glass that's really, really thick. And then this is how you teach your child two-handed how to drink from a cup.
I remember buying little shot glasses, whatever.
I know. I kind of tricked you because it's a toddler. It's a toddler material.
Yeah, I don't know what else you would call them.
But our kids continue to use them.
Yeah, we bought this one a long time ago.
Yeah, and we still use it.
No, it was perfect. It's perfect. So, and I remember when the kids were little, shopping around, and you'd see a little souvenir shot glass or something, and you'd pick it up and oh, I like this weight. And this is good. It's heavy on the bottom. It's got a great weight. I think I got this at Crate and Barrel.
It's thick all the way through. I don't know.
15 years ago or something. 10 years ago.
What is this? I think it's made out of a good kind of glass.
I think we got that at Crate and Barrel a long time ago.
It's called DuraTough.
Yeah.
DuraTough USA. So that means it's probably the same kind of glass that you make Pyrex from.
Yeah. Well, the fact that it's lasted as long, despite all the times we've had to move,
it's all kind of scratched up from the dishwasher
and the hand washing,
it is a good cup, and it's a great two-handed size.
It is, and it becomes a great cup for transferring later and all kinds of other stuff. All right, my turn.
All right. Do we have battery time for it?
You're not getting out that. You're not getting out that easily.
Oh, okay. All right. If you think we have time, mystery bag number
Now this bag,
2.
yes, no, no peeking. So here's what I want to show here, though, is that this is actually not a bag. It's a basket covered with a cloth. And so the concept of the mystery bag can, be up in the air. Basically, the idea is you don't know what's in it. You're going to use your hands to try and decipher. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Pew! Okay, I have something.
Yeah.
It feels like a 10 bar.
Okay.
And it
It is a 10 bar. Golden bead.
Yeah, it's a golden bead. I could have been wrong. It could have been like the 9 bar or something. I didn't actually count
you would have
with
had to
my
count.
fingers.
But that would be an awesome game, right?
Oh my goodness.
Put in the different links.
That would be so
and then
fun.
Have the child feel for the 3, find the 3, find the 5. Yeah, that would be a really fun sensorial activity.
Now I want to play puppet. Like, now I'm like, we got this snake here. And we got a golden bead. That's what it's making me think of. All right.
What else is in there?
Snakey's going to dive in again. Okay. Ah, this is long and thin. It reminds me of the red rods.
Okay.
Maybe the tabletop set, but it's too skinny for that.
Well, let's see.
I think that this is one of the brown stairs.
Let's see. You did it!
Ta-da!
Now,
Yes.
what do you do with these?
Okay. Well, the brown stairs are an awesome Montessori material.
Yep.
They're also called the broad stair. This is the smallest one, and it's so cute. I love this one. It's so cute. The cool thing about this, it's just a sensorial material, but it's that this teeny tiny rod actually matches the same size as the tiniest pink cube.
Yeah,
so
well, our pink tower's over there on
really-
our shelves, so we can't grab it right now. But
not going to grab it while your battery is low. But yeah, it's a really fun sensorial material. It's not. I mean, I think it's one of our essentials.
yeah,
It's something that you can play with your pink tower.
it's
and
not an
just-
is to DIY
Yeah.
product, but
And when
it's a
the blocks are all
worthy-
put together, they do make a little stair step,
Yeah.
which is also fun. It's also fun to use with pretend play, right? Because steps are a real thing, and it's in miniature form. It's adorable. I love this material.
Definitely worth having if you've got a primary age little one.
All right, lovely. Well, friends, this is where we're going to end here for today. Thank you so much for joining us. If the Montessori method is calling to you or your rabbit, and you want to know more, you can find us at childoftheredwoods.com.
Yeah, and you can also email us at hello@childoftheredwoods.com,
Yes.
or you can reach us through Instagram, I think, or we have
Yes.
a chat feature on our website, and maybe you could even send a carrotgram. I don't know. Okay. All right, friends. We will see you in a week.
See you in a week. Love you.
Bye.
Mwah.